I'm Carolyn Schneer, and today I'm joined by Chase Smith, Senior Sales Executive for Retail Insight. And we're going to talk about how Retail Insight can streamline retail operations. Thanks for joining me, Chase.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, you and I have talked before about inventory management and process efficiencies for convenience retailers. And given this all over the place economy, I wanted to talk with you a little bit more about this. So, can we start with pain points in convenience retail today and how maximizing efficiencies can really help?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big pain points in retail today is the inaccuracy of inventory records at the store level. These inaccuracies can be caused by shrink, misscans at the registers, or even vendors dropping off incorrect amount of products. These inaccuracies can lead to a cascade of issues across the business, such as lost revenue, poor forecasting, inaccurate budgeting, and an increase in labor. The labor increase comes from retailers using manual laborers to count these items in store, which can be very time consuming and also very hard in my experience. However, if retailers are able to solve these inaccuracies, we found that retailers can increase revenue by 4 to 8%.
Wow. And given labor is pretty tight these days, you need everybody that you can get all hands on deck, helping with not only customer service, but, counting things, making sure everything's running well, and of course, keeping costs down. So, can you give us some firsthand examples where you've seen this work in stores?
Yeah. So when I first started at Retail Insight, I got to go into stores firsthand and help these retailers count products. The first thing I noticed was it was a lot harder than I expected. I had these big dreams to count everything in the store. However, of course, I made a very small percentage of that store. The hardest one was the cooler. So when you're counting in the cooler, it's very cold. It's not freezing, but it's not a great environment to be in. And also, when you're in the cooler, there's a lot of products to count. So you have 6 different versions of Red Bull, 6 different versions of Coke. So there's a lot of different products to find out which one's which. So it's hard to count. Also, when you're counting down the sleeve of the cooler section, it's hard to reach down. You can't reach down and count them all. So you have to go back to the front, and you're going in and out. Another thing is with high volume items, it's hard to find them throughout the store. So if you think of something like a Reese's cup, you have them at every single register, you have them at most end caps, and then you also have them in the candy aisle. So it's hard to find them, and let's say you do a count, you think you have 100, and you put that down, you change your inventory records, but you actually had 200, but the employee just didn't find the end cap that had more of them. So it's very difficult and, again, very time consuming. All the while, these employees could be focused on making sure guests have the right product, to making sure they're checking out and producing revenue for the business.
That is a lot of counting. It's taking me back to the preschool days of just cycling over and over and counting. So I can certainly see where that could be difficult and sometimes problematic. So, how does Retail Insight solve inventory record inaccuracies, and what are some of the benefits of that?
Yeah, so due to these problems, we went out and created Inventory Insight, which is a cloud-based solution that corrects these inaccuracies automatically. For example, if you're showing on your records you have 50 Coca-Colas and you really only have 6, our system can detect that and automatically change that. That way, the employee is not focusing on counting these items; it's automatically corrected. The benefits of doing this is now you have increased revenue. So now you have the right product in the store. You have happier customers. You have improved forecasting as well. So now if you didn't, let's say you showed 5 Cokes and you really had 50. Again, our system can detect that and fix that. That way you don't order Cokes when you don't have to, which improves working capital. Another big thing is vendor management. So again, holding them accountable that they are dropping off the right amount of products. And then the last one is shrink. So again, shrink is a big topic in today's world, and we help pinpoint the corporate focus on that.
So let's stick with shrink a little bit. So can you explain a little bit how your shrink reduction benefit does help?
Yeah, so with our solution, we're correcting inventory daily. And when we're doing that, we can detect when certain items are being corrected multiple times. Let's say in the Southeast with Cokes, let's say we noticed that in these 5 stores, we've had to reduce it by 20 for 2 weeks in a row every single day. We would send an alert to the retailer to make sure that they can then focus their loss prevention team on that issue. So let's say whether they're locking these items up, putting more cameras in that area, or just focusing the employees' attention on that area to solve. And I know, so when we provide this data back, it isn't a platform. And I know retailers hate platforms. Let's say they have 7 or 8 that they already have to log into. Our platform is set up to send alerts automatically. Let's say when we detect over 4 days that there's an issue, we can send an email alert to someone in loss prevention or someone in store ops. Secondary, we can also integrate into an existing platform as well. So then you get our insights into our existing platform. So you don't have to log into ours daily. Again, I know retailers hate having multiple platforms to log into, so just a way to help solve that issue as well.
Very cool. So is there anything else you can add to help viewers get started?
Absolutely. So with our solution, we actually won for the ECR group. We won the #1 most scalable solution, and this is due
Very
to
cool.
we're using existing data that you're already collecting. So again, it's fast to set up, easy to roll out in stores. The best part with inventory is there's very little training that you can do with the store employees, as it is working in the background. Another thing to note is we do offer a free pilot. We can tell you what the ROIs are for countless other retailers, but we also like to prove that with your numbers. So if you're a little hesitant to get started, we can offer you a free pilot, which goes about 4 to 5 weeks in 20 to 30 of your stores. And we prove that ROI out with your actual numbers.
That's awesome. So Chase, what is your website and where can people find you and find more about everything Retail Insight can offer?
Yes, our website is www.retailinsight.io. And you can find me on LinkedIn, very active. So feel free to reach out.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me today, and thank you for watching.
Thank you so much.